Mom has thrown it in my face many times before that I'm an unfit mother, and you know, maybe she's right and maybe I am. Lee says partly because of that atrocious smell in the car, their mother angrily confronted Casey about her claim that the nanny took Caylee, telling Casey, quote, "We could have found her a month ago. Why did you wait? What have you done?"
You're more afraid of your mom's reaction than you are if you ever see your daughter again.
You know, I'm absolutely petrified. Absolutely petrified. I know my mom will never forgive me.
Reams of documents inside the police investigation reveal the thinking, the lifestyle of Mom Casey Anthony around the time her daughter disappeared. To Mark Class, child advocate, president and founder of Class Kids Foundation. Mark, what do you think after seeing her very thoughts through hundreds of text messages?
Well, I think that what we're seeing here is a girl whose life changed dramatically in her mind for the better once her child was gone. She was complaining a lot beforehand, having these issues with her mother, being sort of tethered to the home itself. But once Caylee was gone, in her mind, she seemed to blossom. She got to go to the party, she got to go out, she got to have the life that she seemed to really want. And I think just like others before her, Michael Peterson, Scott Peterson, Mark Hacking, most importantly, Susan Smith, there was a child in the way of the life they wanted, and the best way to get the life they wanted, apparently, in their minds, was to eliminate the person that was the hindrance.
Out to Leonard Padilla, bounty hunter, who actually put up the original $500,000 bond. You've read through these text messages. What do you see? Does it confirm your original thoughts?
Well, my original thoughts were that she'd given the baby away, or the baby was somewhere out of the residence.
But did you
obviously
just see what we just put up? That she left behind the baby doll?
And what Mark just said is absolutely correct. I'm telling you, he hit the nail right on the head. And if you go to the excuses that she was building already back on the 27th, if you look at that and take that apart word by word, where she says to her friend, "I got rid of the squirrel. I scraped it off the side of the car." That was done, I'm telling you, it was done on the evening of the 26th when that car ran out of gas and it was next to a dumpster. And it was probably by luck that she considered it, hey, I've got rid of the body now, except the bag ripped and left a decomposing portion of the body in the trunk.
Leonard Padilla, I could not hear what you were saying. What was the date that she stated she scraped the animal off her car?
I believe it was the 27th. If you look in those documents, she...
Yes. So that's 3 separate stories trying to explain away the smell of human decay within the car. We are taking your calls live to Tammy in Illinois. Hi, Tammy.
Evening, Nancy. Love you. Love your show.
Thank you.
Thanks for sharing your beautiful babies with your viewing family.
Thank you.
You know, Nancy, I'm wondering, would it be better if Casey did not live with her parents at this particular time? In other words, if Casey was on her own, let's say, in a more desperate, destitute situation, would she psychologically be more inclined to crack under the pressure and perhaps provide more information to authorities as to what might have happened to Caylee?
You know, Tammy, that's an interesting question. Karen Stark, do you think anything will make her give up the truth?
I really don't, Nancy, because you're not talking about somebody who's in touch with any of her feelings. And so it wouldn't make a bit of a difference whether she was with her parents or not. She doesn't understand to feel sorry about any of this.
Take a listen to part of the police interrogation.
Go back to your statement. You dropped off Caylee on June 9th, and walk me through. You dropped her off to go to work?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Get off of work and go from there.
I got off of work, left Universal, driving back to pick up Caylee like a normal day, and I show up to the apartment, knock on the door, nobody answers. So I call Zenaida cell phone, and it's out of service. It says that the phone is no longer in service. Excuse me. So I sit down on the steps and wait for a little bit to see if maybe it was just a fluke, if something happened. And time passed. I didn't hear from anyone. No one showed up to the house. So I went over to J. Blanchard Park and checked a couple other places where maybe possibly they would have gone. A couple stores, just regular places that I know Zenaida shops at, and she's taken Caylee before.
How long would you say you dropped the child off there from the beginning of, end of 06, beginning of 07 to?
Maybe about 6-7 months, so maybe the middle of 2007.
So she moved in Sawgrass about the middle of 07?
She's been at that apartment in Sawgrass for about the last 3 or 4 months. She lived with her mom for a little bit.
Had you dropped the child off there before?
Yes.
If you had to find the place, would you be able to find it?
Most likely, yes. I think I'd remember the house.
I want to go through this, and I want you to stop me at the part that isn't the truth, okay? You take your daughter and you drop her off on June the 9th, okay, at a babysitter's house, okay? Now, this is a babysitter that lives at this apartment, okay, that's been vacant.
I dropped her off at that apartment,
Okay.
at those stairs.
Oh, you just walked her, you dropped her off? And
Walked her to the stairs. That's where I've dropped her off a bunch of other times, besides just that day.
Okay, and when you dropped her off, who took her at that point?
Zanny did. She took her
Okay,
at
so
that
you
point.
left her in Zanny's care on June the 9th, okay? So far, that's right,
Yes.
okay?
You mentioned something before we went on tape about your cell phones.
Yes. I have 2 phones. I just received a new phone through work, through Universal. The phone won't keep charged, so I use my old phone that I actually had gotten, again, through Universal for work.
Okay. Did you lose a phone?
Yes.
And in that phone, you're saying was a SIM card, and the SIM card had the contact
Actually,
information?
the SIM card is in my Nokia phone, but I know there's numbers saved to the cell phone itself. So if we get the actual phone, I know I have one other number for Zenaida.
But they're not in your SIM card?
They're not saved on the SIM card, they're saved on the phone. I've been trying to figure out on that new phone how to save numbers from the phone to the SIM card and switch them back and forth. So that way I have everything all in one piece.
There were so many text messages that Casey received and also that she sent out, and those were her favorite topics: who she wanted to have sex with, drinking, and smoking pot. That seemed to be the thing she was concentrating on mostly, not about Caylee. Tony Lazaro, the boyfriend that Casey had, he said all the time that they were together, the night she spent at his house, when they would go out, he never saw her call the babysitter, which most moms would check up on their kid, but that apparently is something that Casey didn't do.
The thinking behind mom Casey Anthony's actions now being revealed around the time little Kelly went missing, just before and after that fateful day. Straight out to the lines, Kelly in Florida. Hi, Kelly.
Hi, Nancy. Thank you for taking my call.
Thank you for calling. What's your question?
I was wondering, my question pertains to that dumpster where Casey Anthony's car was found at a gas. I was wondering if the police or anyone has checked into what disposal company is responsible for emptying the contents of that dumpster, and how often, and more importantly, what landfill or dump site those contents might have been taken to, so searchers could perhaps check the landfill for remains.
Well, Kelly, you're right on point, because a new theory has emerged that little Kelly was put in the dumpster there at the local Amscott check cashing company. I want to go out to Mark Williams with WNDB. What can you tell me about this theory? It's very reminiscent of the disposal of Lori Hacking's body.
Well, the latest theory, and it's in a published report, is that the little girl, Caylee, possibly drowned in her family's swimming pool.
Okay, wait. Just let me shoot that down right now, because that does not explain the premeditation behind the computer web searches for chloroform and the chloroform in the car. That doesn't fit with an accident in the swimming pool. But I'm talking about disposal of a body in a dumpster. That's what I asked you.
Well, there's a theory that she disposed of the body in that dumpster near the Amscott check cashing place where she left her car.
Is that a police theory?
That is in a published report, and I think police are right now looking at that.